iPhone 6s features an A9 chip, 3D touch, a 12-megapixel camera, and runs iOS 9. But what does that mean, and how does it compare to other flagship phones? And will it take good pictures of your cat? Don't worry, Julia is here to answer all of your questions on the iPhone 6s.
And take pictures of your cat.
Sure, that too. This is the new iPhone 6s. Physically, it looks completely identical to the iPhone 6 other than this new color, rose gold. But hidden inside are some pretty big hardware upgrades. Ever since the iPhone 4, they've followed a release cycle similar to how Intel releases processors, a tick-tock model. The tick cycle is when the new physical designs are announced, while the tock is when the hardware and software inside are upgraded. So for Apple, the 6 and 6 Plus were the tick, while the new 6s and 6s Plus are the tock. There are a lot of new changes, so we'll go over a few of the main ones and see how it measures up against other iPhones. Let's start off with the differences between the two new ones, the 6s and the larger 6s Plus. Like the name suggests, the obvious difference is the size of the phone. The 6s has a 4.7-inch screen with a 1334 by 750 resolution display, while the 6s Plus has a 5.5-inch screen with a 1920 by 1080 resolution. The Plus also sports a larger battery with more battery life than the non-Plus, despite the larger screen. The larger screen and resolution also let the Plus operate in landscape mode now. This includes the home screen and lots of the built-in apps, so you can easily view more information all at once. Not exactly new to Android users, but let's not get into that. Finally, the biggest difference that a lot of people are pretty upset about, only the 6s Plus has optical image stabilization. Yes, that includes both photos and videos, but other than that, the rest of the hardware is the same. Okay, now let's take a look at the differences between the new 6s and the older 6. The first big change is the new ARM Cortex-A9 processor. It boasts faster speeds, better graphics, and lower power usage. It even has an M9 embedded system-on-chip motion processor, similar to an AMD APU processor. We're not going to go into any synthetic benchmarks, but we did notice that the phone is much snappier overall. Apps load slightly faster, and there's less of a delay when switching between apps. Siri also answers questions much faster now, answering in about half a second while the 6 took a full second. The new iOS 9 has an added search screen. Looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks pretty handy for some people, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of the search screen, and I wish there was an option like in Android to turn it off and get rid of the screen completely. Next up is the new Retina HD display with 3D touch. Although the resolution is the same, the new display is now pressure sensitive with real-time feedback from their new Taptic engine. That means it vibrates and you can perform different actions based on how hard you press, or what Apple is calling peek and pop. So let's use photos for example. If you press and hold down hard, you'll get a peek of the photo and you can interact by swiping up for more options. You'll also be able to do this with a lot of the included apps, and I don't think it'll be that long before others start including 3D touch into their apps as well. The build quality has been updated to match as well, so you're not damaging it by pressing too hard. It now uses the new 7000 series aluminum alloy, which is supposed to be much stronger than before, so hopefully we won't be hearing any more Bengate stuff ever again. And perhaps the biggest changes of all are the new cameras. The rear camera is now 12 megapixels while the front has been upgraded to 5 megapixels. They both still have an aperture of f2.2, but combined with some new image processing, low-light images are now much sharper than before. There's also less noise reduction being applied, so images retain more detail and contrast. Once you factor in the higher megapixel count, images viewed when fully zoomed out are noticeably better than before. For those selfie fanatics out there, the front camera now features something called Retina Flash. The screen itself acts as a flash, shooting out a surprising amount of light. There's also a new mode called Live Photos, which is kind of like a PVR for your camera. It keeps a buffer of images before and after you shoot, so it's good for being able to select that perfect moment. It's pretty handy for group photos, concerts, and getting the perfect picture of your cat. Videos also got a huge update with 4K video recording now. That's right, 4K at 30 FPS. It's ridiculously sharp, and there's very little moire, so it's definitely going to become the next standard. Slow motion video got an update too, with support for 120 FPS at 1080p, along with the existing 240 FPS at 720p. If you want to see the new camera in action, check out this video right here where Anthony took the 6S out for a hike. They've even added a 128GB capacity model now with what AnandTech suspects to be ultra-fast NVMe-based storage. So how does it all add up? Well, if you already have an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, then it's a pretty tough choice whether you should upgrade or not. The new features are really cool and they're really good, but there's nothing you can't live without. Yes, the phone overall is a bit faster, but there wasn't any huge life-changing difference in performance on a day-to-day basis, since you're usually bottlenecked by other things like internet speed. Now, if you have an iPhone 5, or if you're even more old school like me with the 4S, this would be a huge upgrade, especially since apps are now optimized for larger screens. But the biggest downside, obviously, is the price, starting at $649 for their 16GB model. All right, that wraps up our review on the iPhone 6S. So what did you think? What phone do you have now, and would you upgrade? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. And you can watch said awesome videos right over here. And you can stalk us on Twitter over here. That's it. Ow, my finger. Fuck yes, holy shit. I like ripped it open.
Holy crap.
Oh, fuck.